Howdy folks, this is Checkers, and this of course is Fallout 76, and my impressions of Fallout 76. Now, don't be too stressed about the fact that we're seeing images from in the vault right now. We are only looking at Crutchley here because, well, he's bouncing and spinning, and I'm going to talk for a bit before we actually get into things. So let's set down some ground rules. First off, if you're looking for the beginning of the game, the actual character creation and things inside the vault, that's going to be at the end of the video so that people who don't want to have spoilers pretty much won't. Once we're in the outer world, we're not really going to get too close to story. There's a reason for that. I will get to it. Next up, if you're used to me and my channel, you may notice that I'm saying certain words or sounding a little differently. I'm having trouble with S's. I've been in a number of motorcycle accidents. I've hit my head more than a few times. I have arthritis in my jaw, which makes me say things a little slurry sometimes when the arthritis kicks up. So sorry about that. I'm over 50. There we go. Alright, and finally, it took me forever to get into the Fallout 76 beta. I mean, it took me 2 downloads, 4 installation tries, and as the 4th installation try failed, I rebooted the launcher and there was a Fallout 76 icon on my desk. I tried it and we got in the game. I don't know how it happened, but I only had about 45 minutes of actual in-game time. But I will talk about that as well as I can. So let's get started. And here we are exiting the vault, getting quest completed on Reclamation Day. And we will pick up a new quest, First Contact. I did not pay any attention to quests. I did, however, have a friend waiting for me. You can see me greeting him here using the emotes from the emote wheel, which then opened this. And I can only assume this is some sort of weapon wheel or favorites wheel. And I'm not sure how I activated it. I didn't really have all that much time to explore everything, and I'm not really the kind of person who uses weapon wheels. I tend to go through the long way of opening the Pip-Boy, much to everyone's distress, but it's what I learned, it's what I do. Now, my friend here has never played Fallout before, so this was very exciting for me. I got to be his guide into the world of Fallout, and that was very exciting. Before we go any further, let's have a little chat about story. There is a great deal of concern that there are no human NPCs in Fallout 76, so you know where I'm coming from. I don't care. I really don't see any problem with it. It's 25 years after a nuclear war. We are the first vault to have opened. Humanity destroyed itself. I would be shocked to find other human NPCs in the world. Am I thrilled that there are other human being players in the world? I don't know. I'm actually pretty excited to be playing with my friend. We didn't run into too many people, so I don't know how that's going to feel yet exactly, but we'll talk about that more as we go. As far as story goes for the moment, I am content that there is a giant world to explore with essentially a giant investigation to discover what did happen after the bombs fell. I do not need human NPCs to make that for me. In my eyes, this is our story. Here we have a little Liberator Mark II robot, essentially the rats, I assume, of Fallout 76. And they're better than rats. They're little robots that shoot lasers. They're ranged rats. They're ranged robot rats. And, you know, as you can see, they're pretty easy to take down. I haven't even equipped my machete yet. And, well, there we are. And, of course, we get to the looting, and we can loot this Protectron. We can loot the corpses, the Liberators, the bodies, the remains. And we did verify that he can loot and I can loot from containers. Sometimes there's nothing there for one or the other of us, but we did not take the other's items. That seems to be entirely random. Here we've spotted dinner. And so I will chase down the rad stag doe, and then once again open the weapon wheel before we get to come in here and butcher dinner. And having butchered dinner, there is a convenient crafting station right next to us. So we'll loot this container and make some dinner, but I'll cover that more in another video. Now, what I will say, and I am excited about this, is that my friend, who has never played Fallout before, did not have any trouble figuring out the crafting station for himself. I did not need to explicitly explain, this is how you do X, Y, or Z. This concerns me because many times, many games do not explain their process as well. Now, my friend is a longtime gamer. It's going to be easier for him, and I am a bit more concerned about people who are absolutely new to the game, to the genre. I just don't feel that in-game tutorials are anywhere near as good as they should be. Anyway, here we've spotted more dinner, a rad stag yearling who cannot wait to provide more meat for us. And so having done that, we will now look around, basically see how we know when we are hungry and when we are thirsty. It does show up in the lower right from time to time, but it also disappears. If you cannot find it, I must assume you're okay. But if you want to know how to find it, you open your Pip-Boy, you go to your stats, and then you go to your status. And you can see it there as a percentage. It doesn't seem to drop really quickly, so it's not that annoying. I do appreciate that. Now, we've moved ahead a little bit. I cut out a few seconds of us just wandering through the forest. And we come to our first non-hostile, well, aside from that handy back there. And here we have what appears to be a lumberyard. Well, it is definitely a lumberyard, but at the moment we've run into a Protectron on tracks who is doing the job of a lumberjack. I mean, that's really some faithful work if you're still doing this 25 years after anyone who's asked you to is dead. I mean, I guess it's no Grey Garden, but, you know, maybe 200 years from now, they'll still be chopping trees or grass or whatever they can find after they've entirely devastated the area. But my friend actually got some wood from talking to the Protectron, I think, unless he accidentally activated this log. I did not get anything from activating the Protectron. I did, however, get some scraps of wood from activating the log. And from this encounter, we decided to take a look into the actual lumber mill here, Gilman Lumber Mill. And again, we're going through containers and we are finding out that we are getting unique basic loads in these containers. Some of the containers that show empty for me have contents for him. Some of the containers that I have contents for have nothing for him. And some of them, of course, have something, one set of things for me and another set of things for him. And now I understood going into this that ammo would be more difficult to find. I don't know if it's just a beta thing, but I actually feel like I'm doing fairly well on ammo. That could also be that I don't drop 30 rounds on every target. Maybe people are getting excited. I don't actually know. See, here is that was an acid container that I picked up off that table, and that was not there for him. So the objects that are lying singly or just about in the world, our experience was that they are unique. There was a variation in that in a note that we will find soon, I think, in one of these structures. But as we move on through here, again, we're just checking containers. These are my first caps. You can see me go from 0 to 2. Huzzah! I can now give up this life of crime. And there are containers literally everywhere. Of course, it pays to explore. It pays to carefully go over even that spot you just passed, because there could be another container. There's even a wood pile there if you want more resources, I'm assuming for building with your camp. That again is something we did not get to. Here we have a tinker's workbench, and again I will cover more of this in another video. Moving on from the workbench, again, this is quintessential Fallout. Looking through containers, looking for junk, quintessential Fallout, at least since Fallout 4, where you're looking for resources, taking everything you can find, stim packs, and things that you will eventually break down. This meat pile, I'm not entirely sure what that is. I don't know if that was an enemy that I was behind someone, and they basically created the meat pile, or if the meat pile is always there. That I don't actually know. And as we exit this lumber mill, I start to actually begin to look for our quest objective, which is to find the Overseer's camp. But we've still got some things to do before I actually manage to succeed at that, because, ooh shiny, there's a bus! Let's go see what's on the bus. And, of course, climbing onto the bus, we find a poor soul who did not make it. And it's not a very good example, but it is one of those first tastes of Bethesda's environmental storytelling. This I do feel that Bethesda is actually pretty good at. Telling stories with the environment as opposed to having someone just hand us a big wall of exposition in text or chat. And I did actually manage to make a Molotov cocktail at that workbench back there. And here we have some more flowers, and what their actual purpose is, I don't know what recipes they go in. I'm not sure. Probably a chem or some meal. Here I find a plan for a picnic table, 5 more caps, bringing me up to a total of 7, and my financial empire grows. Now, I didn't actually get to play with the camp either. I don't know if I just didn't actually know which key I was supposed to use, or if we were just too close to the vault. I did want to try and take a look at it, but again, I only had about 45 minutes in the game, so there were some things I missed. I found this corpse, petrified corpse, and found out that by playing with it, I irradiated myself. However, there are some wandering corpses who haven't quite realized their status has changed yet. We are about to fix that and get a little surprise in the process. So these are, I believe, the Scorched. This one has something of a crown over his name, and he's shooting me. Well, I fall back in here to deal with a few of the melee options, and this one had some knuckles. And I come over here to help my friend get rid of another one with a pitchfork. I like the weapon choices. And now it's up to finding the fellow with the crown in his name. And he is currently ducking out in the structure. He gets a shot off, comes back in, and now it's time to introduce him to a life of severed limbs. He goes down, and check out the loot on this guy. There were 72 .308 rounds. There are 3 leather chest pieces, I think 4 short hunting rifles, pipe bolt action pistol, some baseball bats. I don't know if this guy, again, is just here for the beta to give everyone some goodies right when they get out of the vault. My friend actually got 5 short hunting rifles. These were the first guns, the first ranged weapons we actually found in the game, and the first armor other than, you know, our vault suits and our party hat and some black rimmed glasses. But it is actually a really nice haul. So I don't know if crown signifies that he's more of an elite enemy, or that maybe he just has a lot of good loot. It almost made me feel like he had taken out more players and had gathered up their goodies, but I kind of doubt that. I think he just had an uncommonly good haul for looting. Oh hey, would you look at that? Turns out I got 5 short hunting rifles too. I thought I only got 4. Anyway, we are checking out our various loot, equipping our various armors, and now once again have our first ranged weapons. Satisfied with our encounter and our loot, we pretty much finish off the possibilities of this small shack, and lo and behold, much more to explore outside. And are those pumpkins? As a matter of fact, they actually are. And behind them are, well, more Fallout themed pumpkins, which is actually pretty cool. I really kind of dig that. And now we have an entire house to explore, and as I said, this is basically moment to moment. It's Fallout. It's your experience of the overworld in Fallout 4. It really is not much different. And as we come upstairs, we find a few more of these scorched or petrified corpses, a suitcase with vegetable starch, because of course your vegetable starch is the first and most important thing you can pack in any nuclear apocalypse. Here we have our note, our message to Sammy, and if you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to, but this is the note, the now infamous note, I think, that is the mention of the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, how do I feel about this mention of the Brotherhood of Steel? I can't say I don't know enough. I don't remember enough about Fallout 1 to tell you the lore of the Brotherhood of Steel, and I don't know what potential storyline there could be for them to be here, or what rationalization or what explanation could be. So, again, it doesn't really bother me until I know. This was interesting. I fired on one of those petrified corpses in order to try and not take radiation. It appeared to have spawned behind me, giving me radiation one way or the other. I'm not entirely sure if that was a glitch or intended. As for the note back in the house, that was the one example of something that I picked up in the world that after I picked it up, my friend explained to me that, yeah, actually, hey, that thing is still there. I can get it too. And he was just telling me there was some super wonder glue in the mailbox, but again, there was nothing for me. So there is an example of that, something different for both of us. Here we have a barn and some gunpowder and another petrified corpse, but this fellow was making noise. He was not difficult to dispatch. As you can see, 12 more 308 rounds, so that what brings us up to 90, aside from whatever was in the rifles. It's really not a too bad haul. Here we have our first armor workbench, I think, that we found. And again, we'll cover that more in another video. As I think about it, I would like to point out that the game does feel more fluid, it feels snappier, it feels more responsive than Fallout 4. Now, this is on my rig, which is an i7-6900K with 32 gigabytes of RAM and a Titan XP, which is a pretty decent rig, but it's also the same rig that runs Fallout 4 and doesn't get quite the responsiveness that I'm getting out of Fallout 76. It does make sense that there would be more of a focus on smooth gameplay, on response times, on the snappiness of performance, as it is, well, a multiplayer title. You are not going to want to get into fights and have things be choppy. Your mileage, of course, will vary depending on your hardware, but compared to Fallout 4, it feels much snappier, it feels more spot on. I don't feel like it's giving me any sort of aim assist, which is good, I don't want that, but I do feel as if it allows me to get there as quickly as I would like to get. When I snap onto a target, I feel like I'm not having to wait for the game to catch up with me. And we just dusted a firefly there. My friend is going after a frog containing glowing blood packs and frog eggs. So more treats for dinner, I suppose. I couldn't find the firefly. I don't know if it left a body and it just got lost in the bushes, or it's the kind of thing that doesn't leave a body. I don't actually know. And here we're discovering how to turn on the Pip-Boy light. I'm explaining that. And here we see our very first other human. And that's it. They're gone. That was pretty much our interaction. In this entire world, this world that is 4 times larger than Fallout 4, there are 24 other people. Finding them is not really likely. We ran into one other person in the entire time we played, and he sort of seemed to come out of nowhere. We'll get to that when it happens. For the moment, we are running up on a covered bridge, which we used to have these where I'm from originally. Anyway, yeah, the other human we ran to, just gone. No gunfire, no PvP, no commentary, no nothing, just people doing their own thing. Here we have a truck that's fallen through the bridge, some more items in the container, and we are getting close to the Overseer's camp. Now, I will cut out anything related to story in this, and we'll just sort of take a look here. We've found the Overseer's camp. And, oh, actually, there was another person. I completely forgot about them because we did not interact with them at all. And here we are leaving the Overseer's camp with, well, at least in my case, my newly created pipe revolver pistol. And I wanted to try out one of my own player-created weapons, and it won't take too long, but it will take a moment or two. But in the meantime, we do get to explore a pickup truck, get some things out of the containers therein, and find another poor soul who did not make it as we meander down the road trying to eke out our last few minutes in the game. We don't really have a whole lot of time left. There is a handy floating in the road down there. Now, I'm going by Fallout 4 rules, basically, but when an NPC is yellow, I'm going to consider them neutral. When they have a red name, I'm going to consider them as hostile. We've just gotten our warning there for shutdown being imminent. You can see the counter underneath the Pip-Boy. And as we come up on this handy, turns out that he's some sort of Mr. Farmhand. And, well, he's red, so unfortunately he's also dead. Quite a bit of fire from him, honestly. I wasn't sure if he would explode. He didn't. He did have a vacuum tube and some lead scrap. Nothing too exciting. I'm not sure why he was hostile. He didn't actually seem to attack, but then again, you know me, I'm not patient. I won't wait for it to happen. If you look hostile, I will assume you are hostile. Crossing over the field here, just looking through view options quickly. I don't enjoy playing in third person, so there is some smoke over here. My friend is warning me that there are some dogs behind us, and they're actually coming after him. So I will turn with my brand new pipe revolver and deal with the situation soundly, and with, of course, his melee help, but the pipe revolver handled it pretty well. And of course we got some mongrel dog meat, so that means you know what's for dinner: mutt chops. Okay, and we are getting down here to our final bits of exploration. Another pickup truck, another toolbox with 2 bits of duct tape in it, and you know, at this point, all I can say is that we are actually having fun. He's having his first Fallout experience, and he's enjoying it, and I am enjoying sharing that Fallout experience with someone. It is different, it is fun, it is not horrible or bad in any way. There's a fragmentation mine in this box, for which I will be very excited and say, hey, there's an explosive box over here, you should check this out. I mean, this is really new territory for me in Fallout, right? I mean, I've played other multiplayer games, but it's kind of exciting to play Fallout with a friend. Here's a water pump, and I'm trying to explain that, hey, we can get some clean water out of this. Turns out we actually get dirty water out of it. I'm not sure if player-created pumps are any better, but that was that. Or I don't recall using any pumps in that I didn't create in Fallout 4, so I don't know if the established pumps gave dirty water. There is a mole rat. We saw a dead one back by that house, so it could be that another player ran across them. Now, I did pick up something when I was aiming at the mole rat. There's a beaver down there and a house cat, and I am not burning a cat for any reason. So I just kind of wanted to see it. There's the house cat. Don't know where the beaver went, but I will not burn a cat. Anyway, we are now here at the Green Country Lodge, I think, checking out more containers. And I love it, a bear-proof trash can. And coming into the lobby, I think, of the lodge here, the bell actually works. I was tickled pink with that. I don't know why. Cash register. We've got some file cabinets, typical containers. I do hear at this point a handy above me. If you're wondering why we don't have any game sound through all of this, we were getting some distortion. There is VoIP on this, so we could talk to each other, but there was distortion. I don't know if maybe he had his mic open and speakers, and so there was like a constant repeating reverb, or what was going on, but it was bad enough that I had to cut the actual game audio. Here's the handy that I heard. I think his name is Mr. Messenger. My friend is letting me know that there is a cooler down here. I think it had chems for him or a stim pack. I got a sweet roll. There's some psycho down there. And we'll check out the rest of the lodge here. Well, as much as we can in our, what, minute and 40 seconds? Minute and 45 seconds. So, suitcase with a white plate, another one with a pickaxe, Pilsner's bottle, unfilled kickball. So, just loot and resources, stim packs, Med-X. Somehow I missed the Med-X. I'll come back and get it, don't worry. Mr. Messenger did not seem to want to interact with us. He may be part of a quest line. Maybe it's a holotape quest line, a note quest line, another robot NPC quest line. I don't know. There's a chem box on this landing. A Nuka-Cola machine stuck down there. And my friend letting me know that the first aid kit, and I completely forgot that I had actually accessed the kit at all. I do have memory troubles, so when you see me make that kind of mistake, it's honest. I come by it honestly. My memory's just damaged. Some toolbox and some other things. And here we've got kind of a weight room, more environmental storytelling. We've got a fellow who is down there. We've got our lockers with toothbrushes and hairbrushes. We've got a radio, which does work, although we didn't get any stations, and gym session notes, which was the fellow talking about his workout. And we are about to run into that other player that I mentioned, and I'm not entirely sure where he came from. He was significantly higher level than us. I don't know, maybe he was waiting to ambush someone and I didn't notice him. But there was a mole rat there. I burned the mole rat. I thought maybe he might be in that tree above me. But I look over here. I see nothing. I turn around. I hear a voice that's not one of us. I turn back, and this guy seems to have popped out of nowhere. And then our time is over. And that was our time in Fallout 76. It wasn't very long. It was very fun. I did take a look here at the Atom store, which looked like cosmetic items to me, although I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a banner to say thank you. There are apparel items. You can see I've already got 120 of these atoms. I have not been trying. I don't know what they are. None of this stuff really concerns me. Typically, my thoughts are if I don't earn it in a game, I don't care. Whether that's an item or the coins. I might spend coins in a shop if I earn them in the game, but I'm not going to spend money on them. To me, the items that I earn in game are more... they have more value, more worth than things that I could buy in the shop. And here's taking a look at the voice chat modes. You can turn it auto, you know, to your team, to local. You can turn it off, which is awesome. And yeah, there's Fallout 76. So now let's go back to the very beginning. As we move forward, we are actually going back to the very beginning of the game. This will include things like character creation and some of the things inside the vault. Some things I'm going to cut out one way or the other, but there may be potential spoilers. If you don't want to know anything, now is the time to flee. Okay, so final warning, this is us starting the game. Basically, the game has just turned on, we've gotten our menu, I hit play, and it told us we had a world found, and we are loading up Fallout 76 for the very first time. And you get a realistic sense of how long it takes to load, at least on my machine, because this is actually it. I did not cut this. And here we will go with the intro, and I'll let this play.
War never changes. In 1776, this great nation accepted that armed conflict was the only way to preserve our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If our founding fathers could only see us now. From Antietam to Amiens, Okinawa to Anchorage, we have fought. And now, the Red Menace is at our doorstep. Democracy itself is under threat of annihilation. That is why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you, the good people of America, so that if the bombs do come, if the end does come, our way of life will endure. But not everyone will be saved. Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest. For when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
Good morning, Vault 76. This is the Overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept. But it's time to get
I'm
up
thinking
and get out there.
that
We've been locked away.
it was
long
really
enough.
quite a party if you've actually forgotten what you look like.
Is Reclamation Day.
Anyway, here is character creation. I am going to rush through it
I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76.
because I don't have much time to play.
Every walk of
I've
life,
lost 3 hours
race,
plus to
color,
installation. I just want to get out of the
But
vault.
you all share one very important trait. You are this country's best and brightest. But more importantly,
Well, I don't know about that. I don't feel very bright using this character creation system. I don't have any idea how to do certain things. Like, okay, maybe this character might not be so bad, but he's got sort of like moles or something all over his face, and I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of that, and I'm failing miserably. So, okay, maybe there's just another face type that'll work better for me. Let's just move on. Okay, yeah, so moving through the faces, not that difficult, but now once we get into the actual face, I'm having more trouble figuring out how to do individual things. Okay, I know the look that I want. I think it's a dead man's hand or something similar. At least that's the name that it's always sort of gone with. There we go, dead man's hand. Eventually, or no, not dead man's hand. Straight flush. I knew it was one of the card ones. Anyway, great, but now I try to do color, but the color, even though my mouse was over the facial hair, is referring to my skin. This is one of those things where I've said that their tutorials are incredibly lacking, as in there is actually none for this. And if I had 4 hours to play, I might have been more interested in going through this and figuring this out. I didn't. I had less than 45 minutes, and so I just want to get through it. I imagine in the same way, if you are, you know, trying to go out and meet your friend quickly or something in this multiplayer environment, you know, and you want to get out of here, but you want to have your certain look, this is not really the best way to do it. Now, I do believe that you can change your look at any time. I am not sure how you do that. Again, that's one of the things I didn't get to explore, but you can see I'm really trying to figure out what exactly I have to do, and Fallout 76 is not helping me at all. It's not giving me any real information. Eventually I figure out, okay, I found hair, and now I've found hair color, so I can get that taken care of. And no, well, my beard is pretty much white. My hair is still dirty blonde. So this is not me. This is not what I look like. This is just what my character looks like. And as I try and turn my character's head from left to right, I manage to break my character's nose. And now I will spend several minutes trying to figure out how to unbreak my nose. So I am not a huge fan of their character creation system. I find it extraordinarily lacking in explaining how to do things and what it is exactly that I'm doing, or what exactly things are being referred to. Yeah. When I say referred to, I mean, you know, am I changing the color of my skin, the color of my hair? What exactly is this thing that I'm about to change going to do? And do I really want to do it? As I don't see anything like an undo feature. Here we get our ID, and we are turned loose into the vault. Now, I've cut out anything I believe that might be a spoiler or story related, so I will pretty much leave you here and allow you to enjoy our time in the vault. You will get to see some of the things that you can pick up. I may have missed things. As I said, I was trying to rush through the vault because I didn't have much time, but I had fun. And I even got to play a little bit of guitar here. I knew we could play instruments, but I can't say I completely expected. Anyway, I would like to say thank you for watching. There is quite a bit more, so don't worry, the video keeps going, even if I do not. But anyway, as I said, I would like to say thank you for watching. I hope you found the video informative and maybe even just a little entertaining. I would like to invite you to subscribe, and thank you kindly if you are already subscribed. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you will see a small letter I with a white circle around it. These are cards, and they are links to other videos that I've made on YouTube. You may have to touch the screen or move your mouse. You will see that little white letter I appear if you click on it or touch it. You'll get a drop-down menu of other videos, in this case probably videos that relate to Fallout 76. Most of all, though, I would like to ask you to please take care.
You have been tasked with nothing less than the rebuilding of America. Such a huge responsibility. Just know that Vault-Tec is proud of you. I am proud of you. When you hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Sir, hello. Oh, finally! I feared you'd never wake up. Don't you remember? It's Reclamation Day. Time to leave the vault. Most of the others have already gone. Best get cracking. Reclamation Day. How exciting! Eating raw meat? Bad. Eating irradiated raw meat? So bad. Remember, sir, Rad-X to prevent radiation sickness, Rad-Away to cure it. Oh, come on. Building a personal power grid and making your own electricity, how hard could it be? That's right, sir. Heck of a party last night, eh, sir? Good to see you all together one last time. Drunk, joyous, and not staving off a horrible death minute by minute. The camp is instrumental to the rebuilding of America. One tetanus-inducing rusty shack at a time. You, sir, possess the skills necessary to accomplish anything. I'm sure of it.